So next gen came early with the Xbox Series X. Welcome to Swishy Gaming, guys. Like this video, comment and share your thoughts below. So in this video we're just talking about the fact that we've had some amazing graphical showcases for the Xbox, even with what has been shown already. Particularly I focus on two games in this video. I focus on Hellblade, Senuas Saga and Flight Simulator. So Hellblade Senuas Saga was revealed at the Gaming Awards 2019, just after unveiling the Xbox Series X, and the trailer that they showed was jaw-dropping, freaky, scary, but magnificent at the same time. At the time the trailer was released, there was no idea as to what was really happening, whether this was in-engine, whether this was a CGI render, and most of the talk was about this being a CGI render. Digital Foundry, in their analysis, we are not 100% sure because it had a 24 frames per second cinematic look. Even the aspect ratio was 16:9, kind of like a movie rather than a game, right? But they did mention that they noticed a lot of artifacts in the video that supported the idea that it could have been running in engine, but could have been stripped out or edited rather to have a more cinematic look for it to fit the trailer. They particularly were not sure, and maybe a better way to say it is that they were not really confident in the ability of the Xbox Series X to be able to have such high fidelity, a lot of detail with the things that were on the ground, right? There's basically high detail everywhere. The level of detail was simply amazing, and they couldn't comprehend a way in which that was possible. But after the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo that was shown, and Hellblade developers Ninja Theory at the Xbox Game Showcase confirming that they've been working in Unreal Engine 5, this makes a whole lot of sense. And in fact, Digital Foundry went back on that to claim, to rather make a statement or guess that perhaps that's the reason why it could explain some of the questions they had about the original unveiling, right? So this game looks like it's definitely taking some good advantage of the nanite technology in Unreal Engine 5. So the actual gameplay, we've got no idea what you'll be able to do. If it's going to be based on Hellblade 1, then yeah, you could expect a similar gameplay. But they look like they're going to double up on what worked well and introduce some new things. Of course, I was not really impressed with the speech they gave at the game showcase, but I was happy that they're doing all the motion capture, they're getting the actual geometry, the scenery from Iceland, and that yeah, they are progressing. This is definitely a game that's a way out, but what they showed was enough to captivate a whole lot of people. This is definitely going to be the mature type of narrative driven game that the Xbox Game Studios also needs. One that people can fall in love and play as a single player campaign and not really focus on the multiplayer. The Xbox guys have lots of multiplayer, but yeah, this is perhaps a good break from that. I can't wait to see what Ninja Theory will do with this. Dom Matthews looks like he's definitely doing a great job at Ninja Theory, and let's just give them some time. This game is probably a way out, but again, from what was shown, if it was really indeed running in Unreal Engine 5, then yes, next gen began in 2019 at the Video Game Awards, right? So that's Hellblade 2, Senuas Saga. Then of course, even if we don't yet have an official release for the Xbox Series X or the Xbox One family of consoles, the actual flight test in Flight Simulator has had some of the best critical reception of an Xbox game graphically, right? I think the last time we had such a graphical praise, other than Gears 5, maybe it's just Halo's multiplayer, as well as maybe the original Rise. Son of Rome back in 2013, right? Most Xbox games have not been talked about at that graphical caliber, right? And everyone who's looked at Flight Simulator is amazed at the world Asobo has created, right? And you can imagine the kind of complexity that's involved with that. That's really what we mean. I don't know about you, but that's what I think about next generation. Not just about creating the same thing or doing the same thing that we've been doing over and over, but just on a higher scale, but rather integrating new things that have never been done before, like creating an actual 3D model of the whole world, right? Rendering it through big maps, right? The whole game right now is like 127 gigs, and I don't think that's even the whole world, right? Because it has to load, it has to work with petabytes of big maps data, and then it has to actually use photogrammetry to have the terrain created, and everything is based off of realistic worlds, right? Realistic places. They have the highest number of airports supported in any flight simulator game, right? Of course, most of these things is not actually created by hand, but rather a system of algorithms that's able to look at Bing maps and then produce the terrain and produce the geometry that's needed for the locations. But this looks like it's working well, as everyone has unanimously praised the graphics and even the gameplay of Flight Simulator, right? This Flight Simulator is definitely going to be something worth watching for the next 5 to 10 years perhaps. I think it's going to go with the platform. I don't think we'll have Flight Simulator 2 anytime soon, but I think we'll be getting constant updates. Stuff is going to be added as the years go on, and it will be managed probably more like a platform. The technology itself is what I mean by next generation, not just the graphics. The graphics are of course outstanding. All the GPUs out there, right, are having issues playing it at the very highest fidelity with the highest frame rate, right? Then the 2080s of this world seem to be struggling a little bit to pull up all the different graphics tricks that are there while giving you a smooth 60 frames per second. So it's a definitely demanding game graphically, but at the same time it's really large, and it uses a whole lot of techniques, a whole lot of tricks to pull that off. This game looks like it's got ray tracing, even though it doesn't. Of course, Asobo is going to do a ray tracing patch later on. They've not confirmed the date or so, but I mean, tell me one game from any platform, right, that looks this good and has such a scale. I mean, the whole world, right? This game, you have weather that's based off of real-time weather, right? Weather that's based off of real-time weather. You have flight plans that are based off of real-world air traffic, right? Again, this is what I mean by having the next generation, not just about doing the same things we've been doing over and over, but rather having new things that have never been done before being done today. So this is my idea of next generation. I mean, the graphics of course, but the technology, like shrinking the real world from Bing maps, having real world weather, the way in fact the developers at Asobo say the first thing you should do when you get a flight in Flight Simulator is try to fly over your house, see how it looks in the game, right? Modeling the 3D world, the whole 3D world. That's amazing, right? Having real-time flight patterns, again, that's really amazing. So this definitely breaks a whole lot of barriers. It's probably using a whole lot of Azure functionality to be able to pull up this feat, but it's definitely an impressive game. So with these two games from the Xbox team, I think we definitely have next generation starting even before we hit holiday 2020. So guys, what do you think about my thoughts about these two games? Do you think These two games have the promise of next generation. When you think about next generation, do you think about these two games? What do you think about Hellblade 2 Senuas Saga, particularly that it's running in Unreal Engine 5? What do you think about Asobo's flight simulator? Right? Leave your comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Swishi is out.